Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Pajama Joe here with another fragrance review. The fragrance I decided to wear today is Halston Z14. There's the box. This is what the bottle looks like. This is a really wonderful lemon um, cinnamon. I think that this is a really nice fragrance to wear. Oh, that's a really good one. Oh, yeah. Well, the fragrance I'm going to be reviewing today, actually, they are two fragrances that are basically the same thing. These are pretty much staples in anybody's fragrance collection. Anyone that's a serious collector or is just getting started collecting fragrances ought to at least know about these fragrances. There's a ton of these reviews about these fragrances online already, but I'm going to give my take on what I think the similarities between these two fragrances are, and why I think they are so good. This is Dolce and Gabbana, the one EDT, and this is Dolce and Gabbana's the one EDP. The perfumer for these fragrances is Oliver Polier. I think I said that right. The EDT came out in 2008. The top notes are grapefruit, coriander, basil. The heart note is cardamom, ginger, and orange blossom. And the base note is cedarwood, ambergris, and tobacco. The difference between this EDT and the EDP is that they used amber for the EDP instead of ambergris. As far as what it has said on base notes. Get these open. And these two bottles are full bottles. They're not unused, but they are full. Both of them. Now, the EDP, when I wear this, it seems as though, in comparison to the original, there might seem to be there's almost a piece of the puzzle missing. I will tell you what I think, but before that, I will show you a fragrance, and then I will explain why it's related. This fragrance, Versace's Eros. In this fragrance, they use a note that is called tonka bean in this, and on the bottle it says that there is mint, lemon, green apple, heart-nosed tonka bean, ambroxan, geranium flower, and then the bottom is vanilla, Madagascar, vetiver, oak moss, cedarwood from Virginia, and cedarwood from Atlas. But when you wear this fragrance, what sticks around with you for a majority of the time is the tonka bean. This fragrance is a tonka bean bomb. And after the day is done and all the notes have sort of wiggled their way around to what they are designed to do, what is left on your skin is tonka bean. And whatever chemical they use to put the tonka bean note in this is probably been amped up so that they have heightened the level of the chemical that smells like the tonka bean in this so that it lasts longer and projects better. Now, I'll tell you why I think that it's related to these two fragrances. In the Dolce & Gabbana EDT, all the notes seem to be very well balanced within each other, and it seems to be very stable in the lifespan of this. Like you can really pick out the good amount of the notes as they all sort of subside together. um, they balance those notes very well in this, which gives it that special that special magic that they designed this fragrance to do. And what I think they did with the EDP is that there was a specific reviewer online that said that if you take two of these EDTs and then condense them into one bottle, then you would get the EDP. I will say that what I think they did is they took the notes of tobacco and orange blossom and heightened them so that they would give off that lasting power, just like the tonka bean chemical that they used in Versace's Eros. Because it seems as though when this dies down, or when this goes from the heart note to the bass note, that there's a great deal that is missing out of in the heart and bass when this makes that transition. But what I detect mainly after this goes from heart to bass is tobacco and a slight bit of amber and orange blossom. So I think that they use those two notes to make this fragrance last longer. And then they heighten the chemical that gives off that scent in this to make this scent last a little bit longer than the EDT. So that's what I think the similarities are and the differences of these two fragrances are. Now the similarities of this, upon smelling the EDT and the EDP, you would probably be like, yeah, this is self-explanatory because they are basically the same fragrance. But the fact of the matter is that they aren't the same fragrance, even though they consist of the same notes and are created by the same perfumer. Um, when they came out with the EDT in 2008, they probably didn't figure it was gonna be like as popular as it is or has become, or uh, have as many sales as they thought they were going to get from this, because this sort of snuck up into the fragrance community. It wasn't really like something that they had to market like some other fragrances do. They always have some big name actor to be the face of their fragrance so that they could use that as a marketing tool to sell their fragrances. And I don't ever seen a commercial with this fragrance, even though I've looked for one on online a lot. But I don't know who the face of this fragrance is. But if you ask me, I think it was pretty smart that they tried to keep this, tried to sneak this in to the shelves to sell. But when you smell these two fragrances, you would see what the similarities are, but the differences aren't all that easy to distinguish unless you spend a little bit of time wearing them, and then you be able to make your own conclusion of what you think the similarities and differences might be. But out of these two fragrances, I gotta say that I like the Eau de Toilette a little bit better than the EDP, mainly because at the time there was a reviewer online that said that this one would be most suitable for spring and summer, and the EDP would be a little bit more suitable for the wintertime. And I agree with that. I think that you can definitely split these and say, I'll wear this is spring and summer, and maybe even fall, and then wear this one for either like when it's just about ready to go from fall to winter. And but I think I like the EDT a little bit better, mainly because I can wear this more months out of the year than the EDP. But that's not saying that the scent is any better or worse. But I think that the main focus here when they came out with EDP is the performance of it. Like they wanted it. They probably got a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's a real out of the park winner if it lasted longer," and so that's probably what the main goal here was. I have yet to smell the intense version because where I live, they don't really sell the intense version, so I really am not able to go to the store to put my nose to it or find out what it's all about or anything. But I hear good things about it. It just recently came out. I don't know what year, but the EDT came out in 2008, and then the EDP came out 2015. Like that's when they hit the shelves. But as far as like the presentation goes and how the bottle looks and all that, I think they did a really good job in making a really thick enforcing glass. Like the glass thickness on the bottom part here is like almost an inch. So it's like you'd have to drop this thing a couple of times to lose some juice out of this, you know? I have never dropped a fragrance. Um, so I know exactly how much I spent on each of my bottles. Every bottle I have, I know exactly how much money I have spent on them. But just recently, the prices are just going crazy on fragrances right now. I think it's because the cat got out of the bag on how popular this subject is. But yeah, like I said, there's a lot of reviewers about these fragrances online, and I'm not really trying to take away from any of their reviews or anything, but I just thought I'd have a little bit of fun and give you my take on what the differences are of these fragrances. So that is Dolce and Gabbana, the one EDT, and Dolce and Gabbana, the one EDP. Uh, I think they're both 3.4 ounce. I think. This is 100 milliliter, which is 3.3 ounces, the EDP. And I think this EDT is the same size. I know that there's like a bunch of different sizes, but these two bottles are the same size. Well, that's all the time I'm going to be talking about fragrances for right now. There was also a little, guess you could say, featurette of Versace's Eros. I'll be reviewing this fragrance soon enough. But yeah, thank you for watching. Have a nice day, everybody.